Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is English Bulletin with me, Yutsab Bhatrai. The top stories first. NCP Secretariat meeting postponed again. Leaders decided to defer the meeting after Prime Minister Oli did not show up. Police apprehend Nepali Congress leader Ramchandra Paudel for 3 hours. Opposition parties and rights group decry unlawful arrest. Transparency International says Nepal falls among the most corrupt nations in Asia. Anti-graft body of Nepal labels the report as baseless. Putin orders large-scale vaccinations against coronavirus. Russia to start vaccination next week. And Manchester United on the verge of crashing out of the Champions League. Chelsea secure top spot in the qualification group. And now, the news in detail. The Secretariat meeting of the ruling Nepal Communist Party was postponed yesterday due to the absence of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Party spokesperson Narayan Kaji Shrestha said that the meeting has been rescheduled for December 5 this Saturday after Prime Minister did not show up for the meeting. Leaders present during yesterday's meeting decided to defer the meeting, concluding that the Prime Minister's presence was vital for resolving the internal rift within the party. Meanwhile, the party's standing committee meeting called for today has also been postponed. According to the new schedule, the standing committee meeting will be held on Sunday, December 6. Senior leader of the main opposition party, Nepali Congress, Ramchandra Paudel and others were held in police custody in Damauli for 3 hours yesterday. They were later released by the police. Police arrested leader Paudel, Province MP Sarita Gurung, acting president of NC District Committee, Tanahu Jeet Prakash Alimagar and others for allegedly violating the prohibitory order in Tanahu district. Police arrested leader Paudel and others from Bias municipality Tanahu. Leader Paudel had reached Bias to inaugurate a recently constructed bridge that connects ward number 1, 10 and 11 at Talghare Dumsichaur. Leader Paudel and other leaders were released in the presence of District Coordination Committee Chief Shanti Varan Bagle, informed the District Police Office Tanahu. NC cadres had protested outside a District Police Office Tanahu, demanding the release of leader Paudel and others. The cadres also obstructed Prithvi Highway for a few hours. In the meantime, the main opposition party, Nepali Congress, has condemned the government for arresting a senior leader Ramchandra Paudel. Issuing a statement yesterday, NC President Sher Bahadur Deuba criticized the government over leader Paudel's arrest and alleged the government of imposing despotic rule. The government has been displaying traits of what looks like a dictatorship, NC President Deuba said in the statement. The government should be ready to face consequences for its actions, warned Deuba. Similarly, Nepal Students' Union, the student wing of Nepali Congress, staged a demonstration at Maiti Ghar Mandala in the capital to protest against the arrest of its senior leader Ramchandra Paudel yesterday. Addressing the program, NSU Chief Rajiv Thungana warned the government of a nationwide protest against its autocratic rule.
प्रतिपक्षी पार्टीका अत्यन्त वरिष्ठ नेतालाई त्यो खाले हरकत गरेर देखायो। सरकारले जनता सामु माफी माग्नुपर्छ, आफ्नो भूल स्वीकार्नुपर्छ। त्यसो भए हामी चित्त बुझाउँछौं, जनताले चित्त बुझाउनेछन्, हैन भने आन्दोलनको थप कार्यक्रम हामी ल्याउनेछौं।
Senior leader Paudel and others had been arrested and detained for 3 hours by the police for allegedly violating prohibitory order in Tanahu. The government yesterday confirmed 1,490 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country has climbed to 236,246, while the number of active cases has slightly dropped to 16,547 from the overnight tally of 16,633. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 218,161 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,538 across the country, with the confirmation of 9 new casualties yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 37 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA is most affected country with 14.3 million cases, followed by India with 9.5 million cases. In other news, Transparency International has made public the report that Nepal is one of the most corrupt countries in Asia. But the government has not accepted the findings of the report. Even the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority has ruled that the report is baseless. On November 24, Transparency International released the Global Corruption Barometer, stating that 58% of corruption occurs in Nepal and that corruption has increased greatly in the last 1 year. The report states that Nepali people are the most corrupt among Asian countries. The report also states that corruption has increased due to the abuse of power by the President and the Prime Minister, MPs and high-ranking government officials. However, the government has not accepted the report. The annual statistics of the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority also clearly shows the number of complaints of corruption in Nepal is increasing every year. According to the Commission, 25,000 complaints are received every year, out of which 441 cases were registered in special court last year. Looking at the statistics, it seems clear that the Commission has not been able to increase its activities with the increase in complaint cases. Like the government, the CIAA has also not accepted Transparency International's report. The authority is of the view that a foreign non-governmental organization is trying to discredit Nepal by publishing baseless reports. Although there have been many complaints of corruption in Nepal in recent years, government officials say the report by a foreign NGO is not necessarily the subject of much debate. And now the news from Economic Front. The government has given special priority to the expansion and improvement of the state of airports all across the country. The step up in the upgrading and expansion works across the country's various airports is a clear indication that the government now sees the aviation sector as indispensable for the improvement of tourism industry in the country. The Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation informed of the various construction works taking place in airports across the country. The ministry has also clarified that air connectivity is the cornerstone on which the tourism industry can grow, and hence it has increased the pace of construction works in airports across the country. The government is also preparing to upgrade other airports in the country to international standards. A master plan is also being prepared to upgrade Nepalganj and Biratnagar airports to hub airports of the region, informed the ministry. Welcome back, and now the international news. Russian President Vladimir Putin reportedly told health officials yesterday to start widespread vaccinations against coronavirus next week. According to AFP, Putin said that Russia has produced close to 2 million doses of the Sputnik V vaccine. The announcement came on the day Britain approved of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for a rollout starting next week. Last week, Russia reported interim test results showing Sputnik 5 was 95% effective, rivaling international competitors for efficiency. Sputnik 5, dubbed after the Soviet-era satellite, is currently in its third and final stage of clinical trials involving some 40,000 volunteers. According to AFP, Putin said that teachers and medics will be the first to receive the jab. The Sputnik 5 vaccine is administered in 2 doses with a 21-day gap. The vaccine will be free to all Russian citizens and in connection with the voluntary. Russia has the 4th highest virus caseload in the world, with a total of 2.3 million registered cases and 41,053 fatalities. The International Labour Organization said that monthly wages of lower-paid workers and women fell or stagnated in many countries in the first 6 months of 2020. The crisis is likely to inflict massive downward pressure on wages in the near future, Reuters reported, citing a report prepared by the UN agency. Wages fell or grew more slowly in 2/3 of the countries for which data was available. In the remaining third, a rise in wages was largely due to many low-paid workers losing their jobs, skewing the average higher. Those in low-skilled jobs lost more working hours than higher-paying managerial and professional jobs, it said. The growth in inequality created by the COVID-19 crisis threatens a legacy of poverty and social and economic instability that would be devastating, ILO Director General Guy Ryder said. Meanwhile, the UN Commission on Narcotic Drugs voted yesterday to remove cannabis and cannabis resin from a category of the world's most dangerous drugs. AP reports that the decision could impact the global medical marijuana industry. The Vienna-based UN agency said in a statement that it had voted 27 to 25 with 1 abstention to follow the World Health Organization's recommendation. The WHO has recommended a removal of cannabis and cannabis resin from Schedule 4 of the 1961 Convention on Narcotic Drugs. Until now, cannabis had been listed with heroin and several other opioids. The agency voted to leave cannabis and cannabis resin on the list of Schedule 1 drugs, which also includes cocaine, morphine, opium and painkiller sold as OxyContin. Wednesday's vote therefore does not clear UN member nations to legalize marijuana under the international drug control system. Canada and Uruguay have legalized the sale and use of cannabis for recreational purposes, but many countries around the world have decriminalized marijuana possession. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Manchester United's Champions League campaign was derailed last night at Old Trafford by Paris Saint-Germain, who beat the Red Devils by 3-1. Brazilian superstar Neymar scored early in the 6th minute for the Parisian club in the first half that was contested evenly for all 45 minutes. Marcus Rashford scored in the 32nd minute on assist from Aaron Wan-Bissaka as the English club drew level before the break. But Marquinhos' excellent second-half finish put the visitors back in the front after United midfielder Fred had been sent off. Neymar sealed the win for PSG in the 91st minute as 3 teams in the group remain on 9 points. The result leaves United needing at least a draw away against RB Leipzig to qualify for the knockout stages. In other matches, Chelsea secured qualification by scoring 4 goals, with Frenchman Olivier Giroud scoring all 4 against a Spanish side Sevilla. Barcelona and Juventus also scored qualification by winning their respective matches by a scoreline of 3-0, while Dortmund qualified via a 1-1 draw with Lazio. The final round of Champions League matches will be played on the night of 8th and 9th December next week. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. NCP Secretariat meeting postponed again. Leaders decide to defer the meeting after Prime Minister Oli did not show up. Police apprehend Nepali Congress leader Ramchandra Paudel for 3 hours. Opposition parties and right groups decry unlawful arrest. Transparency International says Nepal falls among the most corrupt nation in Asia. Anti-graft body of Nepal labels the report as baseless. Putin orders large-scale vaccination against coronavirus. Russia to start vaccination next week. And Manchester United on the verge of crashing out of the Champions League. Chelsea secured top spot in the qualification group. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.